All right, hey guys, I'm going to make a quick video for the authors out there. So when I was going back and editing, actually I'd already finished editing for book one of the Kingdom of Sand series. And, I'm proud of myself, done all this work. It's the best thing that I'm ever planning on releasing, and they're not planning on. It's the best that I've done yet. And I was going through and kind of organize the office of some notes that I have. So you can't see it, but up on the wall I have notes for quick reference stuff for Revelations. I have a map, I have some reference material, I have like a stack of cards that is just the white balance. It's a stack of cards that you can see, index cards that I have just clipped together that has reference material for, okay, say the spade. What type of weapons does the spade have? What are the names of all of them? Is it jump capable? Just some quick reference stuff so that I can remember really quickly, what weapons does that particular war mech have? Some different planet information with some of the capitals, some other reference material as well, just related specifically. Some of it is all of Revelations, some of it is specific for book one that I was writing. And now that book one's finished, I was like, all right, let me take some of the pages and some note cards off so I can file them away of different notes that I had for book one. So I wanted to put up a page that had all of the ranks of the officers in the Republic Armed Forces. That's the core Republic as the big nation. You got to know the rank structure for them. They've been in all the content so far. I need to know what does the rank look like. And, I've gone through and, for example, Revelations is set in a galaxy that has nothing to do with Earth. There are humans, but they do not originate from Earth. All right. And so I get the privilege and sort of the difficulty of having to come up with ranks and all kinds of other things that exist that anybody else wouldn't have to deal with, because I'm creating a whole new structure, a whole new everything. So I've gone through and I've had to redefine, okay, what are the different ranks? What are the different standings and the cascading from the Imperator, which is right now the working title for like the top general in all the Republic Armed Forces, down to the lowest. And so for reference material, I have this book that has all of the ranks in the different military branches of the U.S. government. So you've got Army, Navy, Air Force, so on, and that goes from the very top guy all the way down to the very bottom. But having never served myself, I wanted to be respectful for the rankings and everything, but sometimes it's difficult because in movies, for example, or different video games, unless we know which branch we're watching, because if we're watching something about the Marines, they have a different rank system than if you're watching something with the Army or the Navy or Air Force. So they all kind of sometimes are different, even though they could be the same level. They may use a different word or title for the same sort of rank and authority. So it makes it sort of confusing for everybody else, but I don't want to look like an idiot, so I try to make sure it's good, right? Well, I happened to notice when I was going through and I was writing down all the different ranks, and I wanted to I want to define what is the rank structure for the RAF. I went from the top guy and I started working my way down, and I realized when I was referencing the book, because I used some Roman titles in some of my material, and I used then some from the U.S. Military, and I realized that I had a character in Kingdom of Sand Book 1 that is supposed to be the top mercenary on the planet. Basically, the Republic has three different spheres within itself. You have the core worlds, which are like the super wealthiest. That's where all the top people live. That's where all the delegation is. That's all like the best technology. That's the prime place to live. Then you have the inner worlds. Outside of that, the inner worlds are used a lot for manufacturing, for mining, farming. They are not really regarded very well. The people are kind of treated pretty poorly, but they're in the Republic. Then on the outside of the inner worlds, you have the border worlds, right? The border worlds are where all the huge defenses are. There's defenses in some of the other worlds, but I mean, the border worlds are really, really, really protected. So that way, invaders have to go through the border worlds before they would get to anybody else. Now, the reason is that I needed to know the military structure for the mercenaries also is because the inner worlds, they do not use standard Republic armed forces in most of the inner worlds. They actually hire mercenary forces, so that way the top equipment that the Republic owns can go to the borders or to the core worlds, because the inner worlds are pretty well protected, because you'd have to get past the border worlds before you could get to the inner worlds anyway. So their rationale is, well, we can hire some mercenaries, they can take care of the garrison duty, they can take care of kind of protecting law and order, and then we can put all of our best assets where they really need to be. All that to say, the lead mercenary on the planet that is in Kingdom of Sand, which is a critical role in a way, he was a lieutenant. One of the other officers that I referenced later in the different chapter is a captain. Well, if you know anything about the U.S. military, the way that works is a captain's not going to be below a lieutenant. So that was something that if I had not gone and wanted to make that list, I would have been getting, I would imagine at some point, either people would disregard my content as being, well, that's just even stupid, or they would, leave bad comments or bad reviews saying this guy doesn't even understand basic military structure, and then I'd look like a fool for not even doing a little bit of research. And I thought I did, because I thought I'd already gone through and checked, but depending on the military branch, if you're hopping around too much, there's a difference between a first lieutenant and a second lieutenant and a lieutenant colonel. I imagine I probably went with lieutenant colonel, thinking, okay, a lieutenant colonel is over a captain, but I only put in lieutenant in any of the material in the book. So then I had to go and I changed it all. So now he's considered to be a colonel. For all intents and purposes, he is now a colonel. But that is just something, I just wanted to give like a feedback thing, that is something small that could make you look less of a qualified author. Do we have to worry about every single little detail? You can't. You really can't. I'm positive, even though that I have spent hours of time and frustration in trying to make Kingdom of Sand Book 1 the best that Judgment Day can be, that somebody will find something that's still wrong with it. Why? Because I still don't have a team of editors and proofreaders and all these beta readers. I have some beta readers. I haven't gotten as much feedback as I would like, and that's okay, because when you're doing beta readers, you're doing stuff for free. You're giving them the book, but then they're giving you feedback, and sometimes people are busy. But when it comes to, if you're paying a proofreader, you're paying a line editor, and all these things, and a developmental editor and stuff, I haven't gotten to that point yet, because I've been trying to just grow the brand and just trying to grow myself as an author, that I'm improving, but I don't have all, thousands of dollars to invest in just the editing part. But I also, at the same time, don't want my readers to be like, that's stupid. That you should have said this rank instead of that rank, or that's not how that particular thing works. And part of that falls back to not having served myself. I don't really understand all the different components. That's on me. As the author, I need to do a little bit of research at least, even though if I'm going to change the rank structure, maybe I, for example, I don't follow like the Navy completely. I've changed some of the ranks to mix in different words. I wouldn't want to move, if you're going to use a rank like captain, lieutenant, warrant officer, petty officer, I would not recommend reorganizing them. I would leave it the way that people expect it to be if you're going to use those same ranks. If you're going to put in entirely new words like I am, that's totally different, because then people don't have a point of reference. And if you say, the Imperial Director is the highest rank, I'm not using that, so you can if you'd like, is the highest rank in the military, everyone's going to be like, okay, because you're the author and you've said it and I have no other thing. But if you said, okay, each guy in the military, each brand new soldier is going to be called a general, they're going to be like, well, that's really weird, because depending on the branch, it'd be ensign or private or, other different ranks. It's never general. Everybody, even regular people who know nothing about the military, know that general is never the low grunt on the totem pole, right? So I would never recommend taking any rank system that is well defined, has been in all sorts of content, and is a real life rank, and then reposition those unless you have a really, really, really good reason. So that is just my tip for the day. Hope you guys enjoy. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave those down below. And hopefully the video content is looking better and better. I hope. So I'll talk to you guys all again soon. See you guys.